Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the Jack and Jack show. Jack Stroud alongside me. How was your Christmas period?
Hello, Jack. Good to be here. My Christmas was lovely, actually. Nice to unwind for a few days, spend some good time with family, and try my best to avoid all things football. Which at the moment, given Fulham's last few games, has been quite positive. But it was a really enjoyable Christmas period. We're just stuck in that weird limbo period now where I have no idea what time or what day it is. But here we are.
Honestly, I thought it was Wednesday. It's not. It's Thursday. Thursday the 28th. It's such a yeah, you're right. Every year it happens. Where are we, honestly? Right. Couple of bad results, Burnley and Bournemouth. Neither of us are either of them. So we don't necessarily have to talk about them. And Jack, that's sort of been my mentality the last few days. Like different from other people because obviously, like if you watch on TV and stuff, but because I haven't really I watched the Bournemouth game, but I was so hungover I couldn't really like function. And Burnley, I wasn't around to even watch it. I was just I was coming back from work, so like I haven't really like been in that sort of Fulham bubble for the last few days, and maybe you're the same as well. So I haven't been overly like bothered by anything. And there's a lot of people concerned, looking over their shoulder, look at the table, but you know. What do you think?
I think in terms of the concerns, I think you're always going to go for a patch in a season where things go well for a certain period and then things go poorly, especially when you're a mid-table side. Um, I think it's tricky because obviously the results, the Newcastle one you can kind of put to one side. We went down to 10 men and we were down to 10 men for a long period of time.
Mm.
Burnley, that second half in particular was a real kind of a freak performance from Fulham. And then we go into that Bournemouth game, who are in fantastic form at the moment. And we seem to really struggle to get going. And it's a very typical of Fulham, whoever gets the first goal seems to win the game. And, we seemed to really struggle against Bournemouth. I don't quite know what it is. Maybe, was it just the fact that Bournemouth were on it and we're really struggling at the moment? Was it, did we was it the wrong like team selection? Because it's one thing to maybe lose 1-0 and you say, we haven't got Jimenez and there's no Willian. Maybe we're just lacking to create chances. But when you lose 3-0 and then obviously 2-0 to Burnley, there's certainly some concern in terms of where else has this gone wrong, because this is more than just a team that at the moment are unable to put the ball into the back of the net. But I think, in terms of long term with Fulham, it's a bit of a weird period now because in the next month, we're kind of just surrounded by cup fixtures. We've got Arsenal, which we're going to touch on. Then there's Rotherham, Liverpool twice in the cup, and then you chuck Chelsea in there. And then apart from Everton on the final day of January, there's not really much Premier League football. So I think this run has kind of come at a good time for Fulham in terms of we expect Fulham to be quite busy in the January transfer window.
Absolutely.
And this period where there's not many league games, it's come at kind of the best time possible, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a lot of like, how to describe it, just sort of fixtures, sort of in drips and drabs, really along the month. There's no 3-game week. There's no sort of 2-game week, really. I mean, Arsenal on the 31st, Rotherham on the 5th, Liverpool on the 10th. Okay, so there's a 5-day gap. 13th, so 3-day gap, and then
there's a big gap. Yeah, there's a big gap
because we're not playing because it's
because they've split the fixtures. And again, you look at that. Obviously, the Liverpool Carabao Cup semi-final is a massive opportunity for Fulham, but it's a game that obviously let's be real, Fulham are kind of expected to lose over the two legs. And you've got Arsenal coming up, which we'll touch on, and you've got Chelsea, who again they won last night. So they're games that you maybe Fulham aren't necessarily expecting to win or to pick.
But they're one-offs, aren't they? Yeah,
they're kind of one-offs. So we're not playing any teams around us until the end of next month, where you're looking at it as that's a must or that's a game Fulham can't lose.
And then we head into a period. Excuse me, finish. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's. I was going to say, yeah, it kind of, it's come at a good time for Fulham. Hopefully, we can right some of the wrongs from the summer transfer window, get players in early, fill in the gaps that we need to, and then we can look at the run of games which you're going to touch on to at the end of Jan, start of February, with looking at a really strong position.
and hopefully a stronger squad as well. I mean, you never know what business we're going to do. There's a few rumblings of rumours, outgoings and ingoings in the last couple of days that we could maybe talk about possibly. And after that, yeah, like you say, Everton on the last, well, actually it's the 30th, and then they've got deadline day the next day, so that'll be a good time to not only look back on the Everton game, but go live and discuss the transfers on deadline day. Then we play Burnley again, then Bournemouth again, then Aston Villa, then Man United, then Brighton. There's a tricky run of fixtures that. So yeah, I just think that Fulham just need a bit of a pick me up. I mean, I said to Joe a few weeks ago, after the 2-5-0 wins, if this is as good as it gets in terms of the league this season, I'll take it. That doesn't mean to start losing every game though, and getting fans concerned. But look, the performance against Bournemouth was very, very poor. From what I saw of the Burnley game, it looked like the first half we were decent, and then we switched off. And as Marco Silva would say, 2 sloppy goals. We gave away 2 sloppy goals and never really recovered. All credit to Burnley, though, they're making a fist of it. And I think, from a neutral point of view, the relegation is hotting up when we thought, oh, those 3 are going to get dragged away. And we want that to happen, of course, for our sake. But it is making things a little bit spicier. In the meantime, just looking at the table now, Fulham now down to 13th. Brentford are in trouble. I mean, they lost 4-1 to Wolves, and they're sitting 4 points above the relegation zone with an Ivan Toney who's probably eager to go. They've lost 4 on the bounce. In fact, they've lost 6 of the last 7. Their only win coming against Luton at home. Interesting. Give me your thoughts. Well, I don't want to sit here and talk about Brentford necessarily, but 21 points with 6 points above the relegation zone. What needs to change within what we're doing on the pitch? I know you obviously say put balls in the back of the net. Are we missing Raul Jimenez? But there are certain players who've not been impressive. Pereira, for one. People saying that body language of Paulinho looks a little bit suspect. I don't really read too much into that. I just think it's just when you're losing, you're not going to be dancing around the pitch sort of with a smile on your face. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the obvious thing that everyone's going to point to is the lack of goals. Obviously, I didn't think I'd say this a few months ago, but we look like we're really missing Raul Jimenez at this current moment in time. Obviously, Willian as well is a really technically gifted player despite his age. Yeah, Andres Pereira is he's very hot and cold. If things are going well, he looks really good. But if there's a bit of a rut and you need a bit of a pick me up from someone in the midfield to create some chances, he really struggles. I'm also worrying about this Paulinho TC midfield. I feel like, again, if things are going your way, you can afford to have Kenny in there alongside Paulinho. But when you need, the game to grab it by the scruff of the neck and, it's maybe a little bit more of a physical game, maybe someone like Harrison Reed would be better suited. And then, defensively, I mean, it's hard to really tell because the defense that plays and we've burnt, on paper is near enough our strongest defense. There's maybe an argument for Tim Ream, but he's been hot and cold when he's played this season as well. So we're on 21 points. We've got a bit of a gap towards the bottom 3. I wouldn't say it's too much cause for concern at the moment. I think we've been not helped. I think it's not helped that teams at the bottom have played each other. Obviously, Luton got a fantastic result against Sheffield United the other day as well. Obviously, Everton have picked up tremendously. Wolves are picking up a little bit now as well. Nottingham Forest with a new manager. But I think that Fulham have got enough quality, assuming that we also bring some other players in to where we're not too worried. I think this is kind of Fulham's ceiling for the season. I think about 13th, 14th, which, to be honest with you, I think if you'd have offered me that at the start of the season, I would have taken it. Last season was obviously absolutely tremendous, but we had a very turbulent transfer window. A little bit of a drop-off was to be expected. So I would take it, especially when you add in a cup run to that. We're in the Carabao Cup semi-final. We've got a good chance to make it to the 4th round of the FA Cup as well. So I'm not too concerned, basically, as of right now.
See, I wasn't too concerned until I started doing some digging. And I would say right now that the teams who are embroiled in a relegation battle, I would say Fulham are not right now, are Brentford, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Everton, Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United. But Brentford play Crystal Palace in the next game at Selhurst Park. and we play Arsenal. If we were to lose that and they would overtake us, or even Palace when they go 1 point behind us, I then would say we're not in a relegation battle as such, but we do need to, you have a little quick glance over your shoulder, but now we're like, double take. Like, oh shit. Yeah. It's nerve wracking. It's nerve wracking. And let's go on to Arsenal then. They, of course, play tonight. We're recording this on Thursday, 28th, whatever. They play tonight against West Ham United. What do you expect to see from this Arsenal team that comes to Craven Cottage? They made it so easy. We made it so easy for them last time, but we were without Paulinho. But Arsenal right now, well, they're not top of the tree. They're 2 points behind Liverpool, but of course, Arsenal have a game in hand, which is tonight. And of course, Luton still have a game in hand against Bournemouth, don't they? So there is a chance that it's going to be squeaky bum time, as Alex Ferguson used to say.
Yeah, I mean, look, if there's ever a team, or on the flip side of what I've just said, we're going into these games that maybe Fulham aren't expected to get anything from in a way, you kind of want Fulham to have one of those games where you want them to get 3 points, a little bit of a pick me up, a little bit more confidence. And we're playing an Arsenal team who, as you've mentioned, they're playing tonight, so we don't know what the score is against West Ham, but they've got a lot of confidence, and I think certain people maybe would have said at the start of the season, is this Arsenal team going to kind of achieve what they did last season in terms of as close as they got to Manchester City? If anything, they've probably been better than they were last season, to be perfectly honest with you. They've seemed to be going from strength to strength. Obviously, they're still missing a number 9, but they've got so many attacking players behind whoever plays up front who just can create chances, and they look really solid defensively as well. So it's going to be a really, really tough game. It goes without saying, if you offered me a point, I'd snap your arm off for it at this current moment in time.
Yeah.
But I think, as long as Fulham go out there and give it a go and don't get turned over in the way that they did last season against Arsenal, but then also in the same way that they didn't get turned over against Bournemouth. And if the performance improves, albeit maybe not getting the result, if the performance improves and there's Fulham are showing signs of life, then I think there are, this is a game where there are positives that you could take from it.
Arsenal are a good team. They're a very good team. And we took a point from them at the Emirates. That was when we were 3 games into the season, so they weren't at their best. But they have shown in recent weeks that they just never say die. Like, if they were in a scenario where we were 2-0 up by 60 minutes, I'd still be like, but Arsenal might come back. We saw it against Luton. We've seen it numerous times this season. I'm nervous. I think it'll be a good game. I want to, it's always good to see the best teams, but also I need to see a little bit more from Fulham. No goals in 3 games. Can't make it no goals in 4 games after scoring 10 in 2. I mean, that is ironic, isn't it? It's just like completely flipping the script, really. What a weird season it's been for Fulham so far. Yeah. It's been so. Last few weeks we've had the best of the best, the highs of the highs. The 5-0 wins, the win against Everton on penalties, which was one of the best nights you'll get as a Fulham fan. And then just since then, it's just been a bit like, well, you can't be too happy because we've got a few bad performances on the way. The fan base, it's so weird because I said it like 4 weeks ago. The fan base needs a lift, and then we got one. The fan base needed a lift after Newcastle, and we've got one by beating Everton. It's always, you can always complain. There's always something to complain about as a football fan. And I just think right now, it's just one of those. I think it's down to Raul. I think it's Raul's red card. I don't think he trusts Vinicius, Marco. I don't think he trusts Muniz, Marco. That's why we're looking to maybe sell them in January, which obviously mean we need at least one new striker in, unless we plan on recalling Jay Stansfield. As well. Score prediction and team for Arsenal. I think Leno with the ball boy, that was utterly ludicrous. I mean, fair play to the ball boy. He took it well. I'm not having a go at Leno. I just think the whole thing was just a bit silly, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Very, uncharacteristic of Bernd Leno, of what we've seen of him over his time at Fulham. In terms of a team, I'd go Leno in goal, Tete. Then you've got Tosin and Bassi.
Okay.
With
No,
Robinson.
no Diop.
No, I'd go Tosin and Bassey. With Robinson, then I'd go Polinia. I'd play Harrison Reed in midfield just because I think you maybe need a little bit more bite trying to win the ball back
Absolutely agree.
against Arsenal. We don't know whether Willian's going to be fit or not. If he's not, I would play Iwobi on the wing one side and Harry Wilson on the other with Andreas in the middle. And then obviously Raul Jimenez definitely comes back into the
Completely
side.
agree. Completely agree with you, 11.
Yeah.
And a score prediction.
Score. Do you know what? I think we'll see a little bit more from Fulham. I think that Marco will get into the players and let them know that this just isn't good enough at the moment. I still think we'll lose, but I think we'll put up a bit of a fight. And I'm going to go with 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like we're going to lose. I'm going to watch Arsenal tonight and hopefully they get a red card or two, or God forbid an injury. I think we might score. It might be quite similar to that game we played against City last season. What was the score? 2-1, where like Vinicius
2-1, yeah.
equalised and Haaland scored the penalty and then Alvarez scored a wonder goal. Maybe 2-1 Arsenal, I think, and we might equalise and they might go on to win it. There's no shame in losing to Arsenal. There is shame in the way you can lose a game of football, and let's not just throw it away like we did last time they came to us. Let's make a fight of it. And I can foresee a situation where, of course, if we lose again people calling for Marco's head, get in the bin.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No way. But there is a scenario where everyone's going to be like, oh, it's like 4 defeats in a row, 3 or 4 points above the relegation. That is concerning, of course. But then you have to take it in. You have to take it. We've just lost to a team who are fighting for the title. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I can understand if it was Burnley. I can understand it was Bournemouth, and they were poor results and poor performances. And then, of course, we're playing Liverpool and Chelsea. And they're not easy games either. And obviously Chelsea's in the league and away from home. But wouldn't it be sweet if we went there and got a result? I swear it would be amazing. Finally, Liverpool tickets came on sale. You would like to say your piece on this because it's for me, it's a very good day to be a Fulham fan in terms of the ticket structure and pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, everyone's been very vocal online in terms of the wrongs that the club have done in terms of ticketing and pricing fans out. So I think it's only fair when they do something right, you've got to credit them as well. It's £40 for an adult in the Johnny Haynes, Hammersmith and Putney end, and £50 in the Riverside stand. Yeah. Which there's been a couple of people online who have been a little bit concerned by that pricing because it's the cup, but it is a one-off. Fulham have never been this far, and they're against a Big Six side. I think that £50 a little bit steep, but it is in the Riverside stand. I think that £40 for an adult, it's even cheaper, obviously, if you're a junior or 18 to 21. So I think that pricing is good. It's fair. I also think, it's better. That's probably the right word. It's better. And I think another big positive from the home fixture as well is the way that they've structured selling the tickets to really try and clamp down on away fans being in the home end. They've obviously only given Liverpool a smaller allocation as well, which is good. So I believe it's the ordering it goes is your season ticket, your seat is held for you for a day, and it's one per season ticket holder.
It's like 2 days, Monday to Wednesday.
Then the next one after that, season ticket holders, it goes on sale to, and then members who have booked a ticket in the Carabao Cup, and you get 2 per person. Then it goes to members who haven't booked Carabao Cup ticket. That's 2, and then I think it goes to supporters with booking history. But I think with the membership, the way that they've done it is that you had to have had a membership before the date of the draw, so that Liverpool fans couldn't buy a membership to then.
So they're onto it.
Yep. And then and then on the away side of things, I think one of the big positives as well is Fulham have subsidised the coach travel for fans who want to go up to Liverpool. It's with a season ticket or a membership. I think it's £17 for adults.
It's brilliant.
I think it's a tenner for juniors. And then if you've not got a season ticket or a membership, or you've got booking history, I think it's £22, which is still really good value.
It's less than it would be normally. Yeah.
I mean, you went up to Everton for the quarter final. How much was that? What, 30, 35
30.
quid?
It's usually £30. They
Yeah.
put it
So,
at.
I mean,
Yeah.
17 pounds to travel up to Liverpool. Sorry, that's fantastic value, and I think that the club deserve a little bit of credit for, maybe I know
And it's
they had.
encouraging people to go up as well. It's
Yeah,
encouraging
yeah,
people. Look, we know it's mid. That's probably it. We know it's midweek. We know we were playing Liverpool. It's not going to be an easy game, but go up and support us, because they may have looked at that Liverpool game we had a few weeks ago at Anfield and gone, well, that away end was not as good. It
no,
was a lot of people that went to that game said it was one of the worst away ends they've been in terms of noise, in terms of Liverpool fans being in there as well. So yeah.
yeah, and I think they've also, as well, I haven't really looked into the structuring of the away tickets, but I think it's very similar to the home in terms of you had to have a booking history before a certain date. I believe it's two per account, whereas usually when we go up to Liverpool or these bigger clubs, it's usually 4 per account.
Yes.
So that will hopefully make a bit of a difference as well. And I really hope, we can give it a decent allocation. I think it's just under 4,000. So with these subsidised coach tickets as well, and with it being the occasion that is, hopefully we can sell it out and we can make a good noise, and really get behind the team in what is going to be a really, really tricky first leg.
Oh mate, let's just keep them out and stop Liverpool. If we went in with a to the second leg with a draw, of course, or in the lead, God imagine, or like a 1-goal deficit, 2-goal maybe okay, not okay, but it's a tricky one. Nothing more than 2,
Yeah,
and we're in the tie really.
Yeah, you can. Fulham can't win this 2-legged affair at Anfield, but they can definitely lose it. So it's just about making sure that. It's about sure you're still in it when it comes to the Cottage, and then when we get to the Cottage, really make an atmosphere of it. Very very similar to that night against Derby in the playoff semi-finals. Really get the crowd up
because we were losing, weren't we? Of course, yeah.
Because this is a real big occasion and something that doesn't come around very often for Fulham fans.
Not at all. And we know that Fulham fans, when they're up for it, can be brilliant. We know they can do it. We've seen it in semi-finals before, the playoffs against Luton, against Chelsea. We have the capacity to do it. Europa League days, we have the capacity to do it. We just choose not to do it on a week-by-week basis, which it's obviously irritating, but it's each to their own, isn't it? If you don't want to sit there and stand up for 90 minutes, then you're well inclined to do so. But with semi-final, if it was a 0, I really think we'll go up there and get something like a 0-0, really, really stubborn, gritty. The Craven Cottage will be absolutely rocking if we're in the tie going into the second leg. Jack, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak today. We'll be back. God, when will we be back? I suppose maybe to preview Rotherham then, wouldn't it be? It'll be next year, in the new year.
Yeah, next year.
I hope everyone watching has had a brilliant festive period, whatever you celebrate, and we'll be back in the new year. So happy New Year to everyone. Enjoy Arsenal at home. Enjoy whatever you get up to in the evening. Afterwards, don't let the result ruin your New Year's Eve plans. I'm sure it definitely will. If Fulham lose by 5-0, the curry is cancelled, and there's everyone says, "Oh, we'll pack it in today and we'll go home." Jack, thanks so much for being here, mate.
Cheers for having me. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Obviously, as just to echo what Jack said, enjoy your New Year's celebrations. Don't let the football affect you too much by it. It's been over the course of a year, it's been quite a successful year for Fulham.
Oh, brilliant!
Finished 10th in the Premier League, beat Chelsea, got to a quarter-final of an FA Cup, got to a semi-final of a Carabao Cup. We've had some fantastic moments, so I think it's important to take a little bit of scope and just enjoy the football that we're getting generally under Marco Silva, even if it's not too pretty at the moment.
And we will be active in the window. I'm sure of it. So there's something to look forward to there. We were just saying off air, like, we haven't let the football necessarily get in the way of what we've been doing over the last few days, because it's not about that. It's about, well, I used to think it was all about, oh yeah, Boxing Day, away day, blah, 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 whatever. But now it's just, spend time with your family, talk to them, find out what they're up to. It's been brilliant. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Happy New Year. And well, we might beat Arsenal. You never know. If we do, it will make for some funny conversations at work for sure. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.